Hi, everyone. My name is Laura Lee Cochran. I am the writer and the director for The Mysterious Disappearance of Carly Dean. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight to come see our show. I'm super excited. First off, I want to say that I've really enjoyed working with my cast. They have been absolutely amazing. And also, they have really brought these characters to life in a way that I never thought they could. And I've really enjoyed working with them. I've enjoyed laughing with them and, of course, getting some work done. And of course, I do want to have a huge shout out for All Campus Theater for helping us produce this play for you guys tonight. We are also having two other shows this Saturday and Sunday, both at 2:30 p.m. if you guys are interested in coming to those two. Also, for tonight and tonight only, we are having a talkback. And that's basically like a Q&A. So after the show, if you'd like to stick around and like to ask me or any of the castmates some questions, you are free to do so. But without further ado, I would love to present The Mysterious Disappearance of Carly Dean.
Scene 1. The scene opens in a cabin at Camp Layside. The cabin holds a set of bunk beds pushed into the corner, a table folded against it. There are 5 seats filled by our nervous teens who await the officer's arrival. Mrs. Brandy leads Officer Stillwell and Officer Marsh into the cabin to meet the witnesses.
Thank you so much for coming, officers. The other counselors and I are way out of our power with this one. We've never had a camper disappear before.
Well, I assure you, we will find Carly Dean and place her back in her parents' arms as soon as we can.
Yes, of course we will try our best, but you have to realize we can't guarantee anything.
Yes, I suppose so. Anyway, I have the 5 kids that were last seen with Carly Dean over in the corner. They haven't said anything yet. Guess they're too scared of getting in trouble. You two are free to use all this space for all your investigating.
Thank you. That's very generous.
Thank you. Is there any more information you can give us?
Well, Carly Dean was a quiet girl. Didn't make many friends, even though this is her second year at Camp Layside. So I tried to pick some students that would, bring her out of her shell a little bit, to be in her group.
And you said they were working on a project.
Yes, officer. There are 6 groups, and I told them to just find somewhere in camp to make it.
Where did these 5 choose to go?
Oh, they went towards the end of the camp, darling, but not too far. Camp Layside is a small camp, so there isn't many places for them to run off to. As for the other groups, I know 2 were in the cafeteria, 3 decided to work in the cabins, and the last group, of course, is sitting over there. But really, we don't mind where they wander off to, as long as they stay away from the river.
Why the river?
Well, around this time of year, the water rush is like no other. We don't want them playing around over there and getting themselves hurt.
Thank you. What was your name again, ma'am?
Susan Brandy.
Well, thank you, Susan, for your help.
Yes, thank you, but we need to get to work.
Of course. I'll be out here if you need anything. Now, you 5, behave yourselves. These officers are here to do their job, and I expect you to show them the utmost respect that they deserve. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What was that, Marsh?
What was what?
You know we can't just promise the life of a young girl.
Oh, that, I was just trying to help.
We don't know how this case will end, and it won't help with you giving false hope left and right. What were you thinking?
I don't know,
There's no excuses in the field, Marsh. Make sure it doesn't happen again, or I will have you kicked off this case.
It won't, I promise.
Good. Now tell me what we know about these kids.
We know they all had contact with Carly Dean before the time of her disappearance. Here we have Eliana Bays, Kyler Jones, John Baldwin, Alyssa Hans, and Logan Everts. As Susan said, these 5 were assigned in a group with Carly Dean to create a new logo for Camp Layside. There were 6 other groups, but they were nowhere near the area. These 5 are the only witnesses.
Susan said that the others were close to camp, while this group decided to choose some secluded area.
It seems suspicious.
She also said that they were near the end of camp. Where even is the end of camp?
It's about 15 minutes past the hiking trail. It's a long walk just to get there.
Why would they want to go so far out, especially in this heat?
Marsh, there's the missing girl. Why else would they go that far out if it wasn't...
Just because they went out that far doesn't mean they were responsible, Matthew.
But it doesn't mean their hands are clean now, does it? Just let me do the talking.
Sir, what are we here for?
Isn't it obvious? They think we have something to do with Carly Dean.
That's crazy. I hardly know the girl. Dude, can we just go?
I am an officer of the law. Do not call me dude.
We didn't do anything, officer.
We never said you did.
Anyway, I'm Officer Marsh.
I am Officer Stillwell, and this is my partner, Officer Marsh.
Hello, officers. I'm John Baldwin.
And who gave you permission to speak?
No one, sir.
Then be quiet.
Yes, sir.
Go easy on the kid. He's a suck up.
I beg your pardon?
You know, a suck up, also known as a kiss up, a teacher's pet, or yes man. He can't help that he needs to be liked by everyone.
At least I'm not a prankster like you are, Logan.
Would you two just shut up?
Oh, like I do anything you tell me to do.
Logan.
Well, you know what? I don't have to take orders from her. She thinks she's the boss of me, and guess what? She isn't.
Keep your mouth shut, mister, or you will find yourself in a holding cell for the night.
That's a bit extreme, Stillwell. Maybe we should just...
Look, lady, I didn't even want to be at the stupid camp in the first place, much less be stuck here listening to Logan's loud mouth.
I would watch what you say.
We were simply at the wrong place at the wrong time.
We didn't have anything to do with Carly Dean. She was just some chick we were put in a group with.
She wasn't just some chick. She's a person who's missing, and they're just trying to find her, Kyler.
Okay, dude. You have got to stop kissing the police officers' asses.
All of you, listen! We are under the investigation of the disappearance of Carly Dean. We will ask you everything that happened earlier today before she went missing, and you better tell us the truth. Because a young girl's life is at stake. And if we find out that you were responsible for anything that happened to her, you can and will be charged with...
Needless to say, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Be careful what you say around these kids. If you go around throwing accusations like that, you could scare them.
Fear would do them well, especially if they're responsible. These kids knew exactly what they were doing when they chose to go that far out of camp. They were involved in this somehow. They aren't just witnesses, Marsh. They're suspects. I don't know about you, but I am trying to solve this case. So if I were you, I would start listening to me and stop trying to take charge of this investigation.
I would say the same to you, Stillwell. I am an investigator on this case. I know you're angry that I replaced your old partner, but
Don't bring up my partner again. You hear me?
I'm only saying that I'm your partner now. It may not be what you wanted, but trust me, those feelings are mutual. So I suggest that you stop undermining my ability as an officer and start treating me with some respect. I am here to find Carly Dean, and that is it. After this, we can find a way to get away from each other. But until then, we work together to save this girl's life. Do you hear me? Now let's get them talking.
Scene 2. The scene again opens in the cabin, but this time before a previous scene. Here we have the 5 teens waiting anxiously for the officers to arrive, but now we see their perspective.
What are we going to do? The officers are going to be in here any second to ask about Carly Dean. I don't know what to tell them.
We don't tell them anything. We need to keep our mouths shut, like they say in those cop movies. We have the right to remain silent, right?
idiot. That will only make us more suspicious.
We can't tell them the truth, so what do we say?
Well, then anything but the truth.
Well, we can't lie.
We'll have to if we want to keep out of jail. You want to keep out of jail, right?
Yes, of course.
Then you need to shut up so we can get our story straight. You all do.
I agree with Alyssa. We can't tell the officers stories that don't match.
Then what's our story?
First of all, none of us had this conversation. You got it?
Got it.
Okay, now we need to make a story that's believable yet can be proven with evidence. We can't just say that she disappeared out of thin air or anything like that. We need to come up with something that makes sense. But...
Guys, Miss Brandy's coming with 2 officers. Hurry, act natural.
Thank you so much for coming, officers. The other counselors and I were way out of our power with this one. We've never had a camper disappear before.
Okay, there isn't much we can do now since there are 2 policemen in here, so what are we gonna do?
I don't know. We haven't figured out our story yet.
So what are we supposed to say that happened?
I don't know. What? I don't know. Yeah, if we just gotta stay calm, we'll get this. We'll get through this.
Okay, well, we can't lie. We just have to stretch the truth. You know, we need to stay true to the story until that moment, right?
I don't know if I can take this any longer. You know how I am. I'm a good kid. I hardly get in trouble, much less the kind of trouble that can lead to jail time.
Okay, would you just calm down, you worrywart?
We don't want the officers to hear us.
Yeah, no dip, Sherlock.
Listen, we have no time to establish a story, so we have to improvise. Now, if we just keep going...
Now, you kids, behave yourselves. These officers are here to do their job, and I expect you to show them the utmost respect that they deserve. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if we're interrogated individually, there isn't much we can do. Right now, we're at a loss.
So what can we do?
We can come up with a story of how she disappeared in the first place.
How are we supposed to do that when there are 2 cops with us in the room as we speak?
All right. Good. Now, tell me what we know about these kids.
Okay, we were making a logo, right? And she got supplies from Miss Brandy. So let's just say she went to get art supplies and she just never came back.
That's good. That way it would take us away from where we actually were.
They could hear you.
It would also make Miss Brandy the last person to see her instead of us.
That's good. We'd be off the hook. Good thinking, babe.
Thanks, I just...
Oh, gosh, stop it with the couple stuff. Gross.
May I interject?
Ew. Do you have to say it like that?
Pick on me all you want, but listen. We turned in our logo, right? So Carly Dean obviously came back with the art supplies. Wouldn't they question how we were able to make our logo with no art supplies?
I don't know. I hadn't gotten that far yet.
Alyssa, you're the one who's supposed to know this stuff. After all, it was you.
It is what? What did I say about keeping your mouth shut, Logan?
Hey, you just say that she told us that she wasn't feeling good, and so she went back to her cabin.
That's good. You're so smart, babe.
That's good. It would put us away from where Carly Dean was and give us a reason for not warning Miss Brandy. Are we all agreed?
Agreed.
Sir, what are we here for?
Isn't it obvious? They think we have something to do with Carly Dean.
That's crazy. I hardly know the girl. Dude, can we just go?
Now, I am an officer of the law. Do not call me dude.
We didn't do anything, officer.
We never said you did.
Anyway, I'm Officer Marsh.
I am Officer Stillwell, and this is my partner, Officer Marsh.
Hello, officers. I'm John Baldwin.
And who gave you permission to speak?
No one, sir.
Then be quiet.
Yes, sir.
Go easy on the guy. He's a suck-up.
I beg your pardon?
You know, a suck-up, also known as a kiss-up, a teacher's pet, or a yes man. He can't help that he needs approval from everyone.
At least I'm not a prankster like you are, Logan.
Would you two just shut up?
Like I do anything you'd tell me to do.
Logan,
No, I don't have to take orders from her. She thinks she's the boss of me, and guess what? She isn't.
keep your mouth shut, mister, or you will find yourself in a holding cell for the night.
That's a bit extreme, Stillwell. Maybe we should just...
Look, lady, I didn't even want to be at the stupid camp in the first place, much less be stuck here listening to Logan's loud mouth.
Hey, I would watch what you say.
Look, we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
We didn't have anything to do with Carly Dean. She was just some chick we were put in a group with.
She wasn't just some chick. She's a person who's missing, and they're just trying to find her, Kyler.
Seriously, you've got to stop kissing the police officers' asses.
All of you listen! We are under the investigation of the disappearance of Carly Dean. We will ask you everything that happened earlier today before she went missing. And you better tell us the truth, because the young girl's life is at stake. And if we find out you were responsible for anything that happened to her, you can and will be charged with.
Needless to say, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble.
John, what the hell were you thinking? You could have blown our cover trying to get a freaking gold star.
I know it looked bad, but they need to have someone who they think will tell them the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I am that person. I made myself known as that person, and you helped by telling them I was a kiss-up. They shouldn't have any problems with believing me now.
But still, that was a close one. We had no idea if you were going to snitch on us or what.
Shh, just listen.
So if I were you, I would start listening to me and stop trying to take charge of this investigation.
I would say the same to you, Stillwell. I'm an investigator on this case. I know you're angry that I replaced your old partner. But
Don't bring up my partner again. You hear me?
I'm only saying that I'm your partner now. It may not be what you wanted, but trust me, those feelings are mutual.
They don't like each other, so they'll be too busy butting heads to focus on us. Guys, I think we can get off scot-free. We just have to be smart about it.
I hate to admit it, but you're right.
I don't know. It seems kind of risky.
I know that, but it's our only option.
Now let's get them talking.
Scene 3. The scene opens in the cabin. This is a collection of time from all of the interrogations Officer Stillwell and Officer Marsh conduct. We are able to see each separate teen at the same time giving their eyewitness account to the officers, as well as what happened earlier that day.
Now that we have you here, all alone, what happened earlier today?
I don't really know.
Why should I tell you?
I'm not so sure. You see, my hunger, it's starting to get to me.
You need to talk, and you need to talk now. You're all by yourself, so your friends can't help you.
Can you just walk us through the story?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever.
Fine.
Okay.
So it all started with us being assigned to the same group.
We were all put in the same group.
Miss Brandy was in charge in making those groups.
Each group had 3 girls and 3 guys to keep it fair, but of course I got stuck with the kiss-up, the jokester, the couple, and Carly Dean.
I never knew Carly Dean before today. I mean, I knew she went to camp, but I'd never talked to her because I'd never had any camp activities with her.
I knew she was in my cabin one year, but she mainly kept to herself.
What were we talking about again? Oh, right, the hunger.
So we had to go to the list to find out who was in our group, and after that we decided on a time and a place to meet up, and when the time came, I was the first one there.
Eliana and I showed up next.
Then I showed up.
Then it was me.
And last but not least,
Carly
Dean.
Didn't show up.
Was she excited to be in the group?
I don't know. She was holding a book to her nose.
She wasn't really paying attention. She was listening to music or something.
I don't know, and I don't really care.
Who was the first to speak?
Carly.
Dean.
Carly Dean.
What did she say?
She said something like,
So, are you guys ready for the project? I already have some ideas for what we can do.
Great. Can you just do it so I can sign my name at the bottom?
Just ignore Carly Dean, is it?
Yes.
Well, don't worry. I'll be helping you with this project because sadly we got stuck in a group of people who don't participate.
I participate.
Huh, it looks like no one grabbed any art supplies. I guess I'll go get some. I'm sure Mrs. Brandy has something artsy in her office.
She went to get the supplies and she came back a little bit later. I'm not sure what happened once she left, but as soon as she got back, we went ahead and started working.
It was really coming together. I could tell that we were going to win.
The project was an absolute mess. John could not stop spilling glue everywhere. Carly Dean, she was trying her best not to get mad, but whew, she was really trying hard.
Is she a perfectionist?
Yeah, seemed like it.
I'd say so. When she was in my cabin last year, she always had the cleanest bunk. She never left anything out of place. She was so tidy. Maybe a bit too tidy, if that makes sense at all.
Marsh! Okay, so back to working on the project.
Yes, well, Carly Dean was working really hard. Harder than most of us, really.
Hey, Alyssa, can you hand me that marker next to your foot?
Here you go.
Thank you.
Why didn't you give her the marker?
It was so close to her, she could have reached it. Plus, I was in the middle of not caring.
Didn't your parents ever teach you any manners?
Excuse me?
The marker was literally right next to your foot. Would it have killed you to pick it up and hand it to Carly Dean?
It's no big deal. I have the marker now.
No, it is a big deal. Alyssa acts like she can do whatever she wants. Apparently, she was raised by coyotes.
Watch what you say.
That would explain the hair, am I right?
Dude.
No, I mean, look at her. Does she even own a brush?
Look, you talk about my parents one more time and I swear.
You swore what?
Doesn't matter, I got the point across.
Okay, I think we're almost done.
Almost? We've been at this for almost an hour now.
By we, you mean me, right? I don't see you putting in any effort.
Whatever.
Alyssa, I feel like I know you from somewhere.
Where? The zoo?
Logan!
No, Logan. It has to be somewhere, though. You just look so familiar. Have you been to camp before?
I have.
Oh, maybe that's where I know you from. I would have definitely remembered you if we talked or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, can you pass me the scissors?
As time went on, she kept moving around a lot.
Yeah, she kept getting up to get things she needed for the project.
And it was really hot outside.
We were all starting to sweat.
And we hadn't had a water break in a while.
So, you're saying she got dehydrated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she wasn't feeling...
So she wasn't feeling well. Continue.
She started to complain.
Wow, it's really hot out here.
A lot.
Is it just me, or am I the only one sweating? The sun is so bright, it's starting to hurt my eyes. Hey, when do we have to turn this in? When do we get a water break? Ah, the sun, I'm melting.
Okay, so she didn't quite say that.
After all the complaining, what happened?
She said.
She said,
I'm not feeling so well. I'm going to head back to my cabin and go get some rest.
She said that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So she just got up, said she wasn't feeling well, and left.
Mm-hmm.
She just left the project and everything. Just left, and that was the last time you saw her?
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't buy that story one bit. There's more you aren't telling us. Spit it out.
But I'm telling the truth. I'm the kiss-up, remember?
I wasn't even paying attention.
I didn't do anything.
When can we eat?
I swear that's all that happened.
They're lying.
Scene 4. The scene opens with Officer Stillwell and Officer Marsh walking out of the cabin around 11 p.m. The interrogations are over, and the teens are back at their own cabins now, but the officers are still hard at work to solve the case.
They're all a bunch of liars, telling us this amateur lie to keep out of trouble. What do they think they're doing? Fooling us?
Stillwell, calm down.
They have no respect for authority, much less their peers. They don't care what happens to Carly Dean. All they care about is themselves. How are we supposed to crack the truth out of these kids?
I don't know. Without their eyewitness accounts, there isn't much we can do. Those 5 were the last to see Carly Dean. They are the only ones who know what actually happened to her.
We're gonna have to be harder with them.
Harder than we have been. Stillwell, they're just kids.
Kids with lying consciences.
But still kids. They don't respond to big officers yelling at them, especially when they're already scared.
They need to be scared. They should be ashamed,
We don't
fearful of.
know if they did anything yet. For all we know, they could be innocent.
Innocent people don't lie, Marsh.
But scared people do.
There has to be some evidence we're missing.
Matthew,
We must have missed something.
we've gone over the reports 1,000 times.
We're missing something, Marsh.
Today at 3:36 p.m., we received a call from Camp Layside saying they had a missing persons case. Her name is Carly Dean Langston. She is a 17-year-old with brown eyes and brown hair. When we arrived, there were only 5 witnesses. 5 teens with the names of Eliana Bays, Kyler Jones, John Baldwin, Alyssa Hans, and Logan Everts. They were all the last to see Carly Dean. Their witness account states that she wasn't feeling well, so she went back to her cabin and never came back.
Okay, maybe it isn't in the reports. It has to be in them. The answer lies in the kids. They know what happened. They're just hiding it. We have to.
Matthew! It's past 11. It's been dark for hours now. Those kids need some sleep. We need some sleep.
But Marsh, you don't.
Good night, officer.
Scene 5. The scene opens back in the cabin. Officer Stillwell has been working for hours now and sits at a table surrounded by case files and witness accounts. He sits there, under dim lighting, trying to find the answers.
There has to be something missing. The girl doesn't just go up and vanish. These good-for-nothing cabin lights. Where's that damn light switch? Oh! Hey!
Hello.
How did you... What are you doing here, kid? This cabin is for interrogating. Only officers are allowed.
You don't recognize me.
No! Why would... Wait. You're... Pause! You're the missing girl, aren't you? You're Carly Dean. Wait right here. Hey everyone! I found her! Carly Dean! She's here! Hello? Marsh? Susan? That's strange. You just sit here and I'm gonna call someone.
That won't work.
What do you mean that won't work?
I mean, it won't work.
Hey, you can't look at that!
Them.
What are you talking about? And give me that. That is confidential and...
Them.
Those 5 teens. What about them?
Them.
What do you mean, them? What?
You failed.
I beg your pardon?
You failed.
How? You're alive, aren't you? Case closed.
Am I?
What the hell kind of game are you trying to play with me, young lady?
No game.
Then sit down while I get.
You failed.
I did not fail. You are alive, and I've done everything I can to keep it that way.
Like you did for your partner?
Who? Marsh?
No, not Karen.
You're not making any sense.
I know what happened.
What do you mean?
It was that case. That one case that changed everything.
Case? What case?
Your last case before Karen.
My last case before Marsh. Wait, how do you know about that?
It was late. You were tired.
How do you know about this? I demand you stop at once.
You were driving. Your partner Ron was asleep in the passenger seat.
How do you know about Ron?
Your eyes blinked for just a moment.
Carly Dean, how do you know this?
You fell asleep along with Ron.
As an officer of the law, I demand you stop now.
No one was awake to turn the wheel.
Stop talking.
You opened your eyes to 2 bright lights.
Stop, please.
You crashed.
No.
Time went by in slow motion.
No.
And eventually, you looked where your windshield used to be.
Please.
To see Ron lying on the concrete. You couldn't save him. He died in your arms that night.
It was an accident. I didn't mean to. I would never hurt my partner like that.
Then why do you treat Karen like that?
What does Marsh have to do with all of this?
You treat her differently than Ron.
Because I loved Ron like a brother. Marsh is just an officer I've been assigned to work with.
Or maybe you're too scared to lose her like you lost Ron.
No, that is not.
You constantly push Karen away. One day she won't be there to push away anymore. And you'll be alone, without a partner, again.
How do you know all of this?
Look at the papers again.
I asked you a question.
And I told you to look at the case files.
Why the case files?
Someone isn't who they say they are.
Who?
A-H.
A-H? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I think it's time for you to wake up.
Huh?
Officer Stillwell, wake up, honey. Wake up. Wake up. Officer Stillwell, wake up. It's 8 a.m. Oh, hun, were you here all night?
What?
Come on up, sweetheart.
It appeared. I found her.
Carly Dean? Oh, you must have been dreaming. You were saying her name an awful lot.
It was all a dream?
Are you all right, officer?
Yeah, just got a crick in the neck.
You must have been sleeping at the wrong angle. Happens to the best of us.
Angle? A-H.
Yes. Anyways, breakfast will be served soon. Would you like to join me and Officer?
A-H.
Meant Officer Marsh. Are you sure everything is all right?
A-H. A-H? A-H. Alyssa Hans.
What about her?
What about her indeed?
I'm not sure I follow.
What does Alyssa Hans have to do with all this?
That's what I asked you.
Where's my laptop?
Under those files.
Okay. Alyssa Hans, what are you hiding?
What?
Okay. This can't be.
What can't be? What?
Then who? Oh?
Oh?
A-H. Alyssa Hans, that's a connection, that's it!
That's it!
I've got it. Thank you, Susan.
Oh, you're welcome, dear. So, do you want to head down with me for breakfast? Oh, he's already gone. Guess he must really like breakfast.
Scene 6. The scene opens outside of the cabin in the early morning. Officer Stillwell comes running out of the cabin with answers he just found with Mrs. Brandy and catches Officer Marsh on her way to the cabin.
Marsh!
Matthew, what are you doing scaring me like that?
Sorry, but I've got to talk to you.
Oh, are you okay? What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong.
Then why are you running around yelling my name at 8 in the morning?
I can explain. It's a long...
You didn't sleep last night? You look tired.
Oh, I went to sleep all right, and in this dream I found...
I'm sorry, did you say in your dream?
That's not really important right now.
Oh, now come on, tell me about your dream.
That is besides the point, Marsh. Now, if you would just...
So it wasn't breakfast you were after all. It was the girl.
What? No. Susan, can we have some privacy, please? It's, police business.
Ah, yes, police business.
I would assume so. I'll see you guys later.
What are you getting at, Matthew?
Listen, it doesn't matter how I came to realize this, but Alyssa Hans isn't who she says she is.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Doesn't matter. Take this.
I don't see anything peculiar about this. It's Alyssa Hans, age 17, looks the same as yesterday.
Look under DOD.
Date of death, that can't... She's dead.
No. That Alyssa Hans is dead. Our Alyssa Hans is actually Katie Hans.
Katie Hans, how did you...
Click that tab. The Hans family died in a car crash 2 years ago. Everyone died. Except Katie.
But if she survived, why would she...
Click the next tab.
Oh my. She wasn't in the car with her family. She was in the one that hit them. Oh God, it says here that her sister was in a coma for 2 days before doctors declared that she no longer had any brain activity. It's just awful. But wait, so she took her sister's name and I guess changed her appearance, but why? To keep a low profile?
That's what I'm not so sure about. You see, Katie switched the names in their medical records.
Oh, so that made it look like Katie was the one in the coma.
Yes, and then the real Alyssa died. So there was no time for them to even think about charging Katie with involuntary manslaughter. However, when Katie changed the papers, there was no reason to do so because nothing had been decided yet. So her motive is unclear.
Strange. And wow, it says here that she then went to Slidell's Home for Children after the incident.
Yes, she got away with it all, and then took cover in an orphanage.
How did you even find this out?
Well, throughout her scheme, she didn't think about the police reports taken for the crash. The names remained unchanged in there. I assume someone didn't file their paperwork, and that's why it's been hidden away for so long. I know what she did. I've read it, I've examined it, and I can see how she got away with it. I just don't know why she did it.
Wait, I'm confused. What does this have to do with Carly Dean?
I don't know.
You don't know? Then why are you spending so much time explaining it to me when we could be actually working?
No, it's not like that.
Then what is it like? Gosh, Matthew.
What?
I can't believe you. The moment I think we are finally getting along, you choose to send me on a wild goose chase.
I'm not... Listen, I don't know how this all connects. I just know it does.
And I'm just supposed to believe you.
Well, yes.
Well, yes, is that all you have to say? You know what? I thought we could have been good partners. And to think, I even thought we could become good friends. But now I know that's completely just...
Marsh!
What?
If I told you where I came up with this, you would think I'm crazy. But I found it. It's there, and it's real evidence. I don't know how it ties in. But don't you think it's a little suspicious Katie is pretending to be Alyssa?
Well, yes, it's suspicious, but I still don't see how...
Listen, you don't have to believe me. You don't even have to talk to me. All I know is that I am not going to let Carly Dean spend one more minute lost and afraid. We are going to find her. And maybe this new information about Katie leads us to her, or maybe it doesn't. Those kids are hiding something. I know it. I mean, Katie was living a whole other life, and I figured that out. I'm working with what I have, Marsh, and it's not like we have Carly Dean to tell us what happened.
But what if we did?
Did you not just hear a thing?
I think I have a plan.
Scene 7. The scene opens in the early morning in the cafeteria. Alyssa enters the cafeteria for breakfast and takes a table, thinking to sit by herself. However, Logan enters shortly after and goes to sit next to Alyssa. Then John enters and sees that Alyssa and have chosen to sit together and joins. Eliana and Kyler follow by joining the table and sitting next to each other.
Do you think we got away with it?
I'm not sure.
I mean, we should have. We gave them what they wanted to hear, right?
Yeah, except for the truth.
Guys, why are you talking about this now? People could be listening.
Yeah, right. No one is on full spy mode right now.
Logan, this isn't a joke.
If we say anything that the cops shouldn't hear, they're going to arrest us on the spot. Do you want that?
No.
I think that we would all rather go home than spend the rest of our lives in jail.
Yeah, we all want to go home to our mommies and daddies and cry, Kyler, but now it's not the time.
Okay, I didn't say anything about crying in mommies.
Now you did.
Logan, Would you stop trying to be funny for 1 second?
Okay, but why would I?
Maybe because it's annoying.
To me, you're all annoying. I swear if it wasn't for all this, I'd be sitting at a table all by myself, just like I like it.
Eliana and I would be
Hanging out. Like we always do.
Hanging out?
I would be able to sleep at night. How long are we going to have to hold off? I don't think I can take this any longer. I mean, what we did.
Stop saying that like something happened when we...
It isn't right and we have to tell someone. She could still be out there for all we know. She could even be...
What? Dead?
Alyssa!
What? We were all thinking it. What if Carly Dean is dead? Huh? If she is, there isn't much we can do now anyway.
Wow.
Keep your voice down.
Well, you know, none of us chose this. None of us chose the fun camp activity where we get questioned by the police about a girl that's dead.
Now, what do you mean by a girl that's dead?
You know what I mean.
What if she is dead? It would be all our faults.
Not mine. I didn't do anything.
Logan, this was all your idea from the start. If she's dead, if we go to jail, it'll be all your fault.
Oh, like hell it will. Alyssa was the one who...
No, we all know what happened, and we all know what we agreed on. If one person goes down, we all do. So stop trying to play the blame game.
I still think we should tell Officer Stillwell and Officer Marsh everything. It'll be easier and maybe they won't be so hard on us.
No. We stick to the lie.
But she could still be out there for all we know. She's been out there all night. She needs to be found soon.
We can't do anything for her right now. We need to focus on protecting ourselves.
John, I know you're scared, but we can't tell the officers the truth. You understand that, right? Right?
Come with us.
Come with us.
Scene 8. The scene opens back in the cabin after the officers lead the teens to another questioning. The teens all sit next to each other as the officers address them all.
Last night, about an hour after we finished interrogating you all, we got a call about a quarter mile from here saying that a girl was found wandering around the woods. That girl happened to be Carly Dean.
That's great. Is she okay?
She's in the nearest hospital. She's alive, but she has a lot of recovery ahead of her.
That's good, though. She's okay, so we can go home, right?
Not quite.
What do you mean, not quite?
We met with her this morning to see what happened yesterday.
And she was more than willing to tell us everything we needed to know.
But we are giving you the chance to tell your side of the story to ensure you won't get in as much trouble as you could.
What would we need to say?
You can't be serious, John.
Don't say anything.
It's not like they don't know. Carly Dean is confessed, and if we don't say something, that means jail time.
It's just a lie to get us to start talking.
Hey, speak fast or the offer's gone.
We tried to pull a prank on her.
Logan!
Dude!
I'm sorry. I like pranks and all, but this is too much. Carly Dean could have died. She's okay. She told him everything, and it's over.
Thank you, Logan, for being honest.
Anyone else?
Well,
You can't really be considering.
I don't think we have much of a choice anymore. Both Logan and Carly Dean have said something happened. There's no use in lying anymore.
She's right, Alyssa. We have to tell the truth.
I can't believe this.
It's for the best.
Not for us.
Stop arguing. It won't get you anywhere.
Let's just calm down, okay? Now, can you tell us what really happened yesterday?
Well, we were assigned in groups.
And how we found out who was in our group and we met at a certain place.
And you know that Carly Dean was the last one to get there.
I remember she was doing something.
Wasn't she listening to music?
No. She was reading a book, remember?
So, are you guys ready for the project? I already have some ideas for what we can do.
I can't believe this. This is just a bluff.
I assure you, this is no bluff.
Then Alyssa said,
Great. Can you just do it so I can put my name at the bottom?
just ignore, Carly Dean, is it?
Yes.
Well, don't worry. I'll be helping you with this project because sadly, we got stuck in a group of people who don't participate.
I participate. Earlier, I said that I didn't know what happened once she left and that we just continued working. But the truth is, I did know. I was just scared and didn't want to say.
Yeah, me too.
It's because there was a lot that happened in between that time that we didn't really want you to know.
Now is the time to finally tell us.
Well, you already know that Carly Dean noticed that we didn't have any supplies and how she offered to go get some for us.
I guess no one grabbed the art supplies. I'll go get some. I'm sure Mrs. Brandy has something artsy in her office.
Okay, bye! We were all glad to see her go. She was kind of bossy and uptight, even though we hadn't started yet. And when she left, I turned around and I said, "Hey, you guys want to pull a prank on her?"
Hell yeah, let's get back at her for being such an uptight ass. Telling us she already has ideas. It's like she wanted to be at camp or something.
Some people enjoy Camp Lisa, Alyssa.
I have my reasons.
I don't think a prank is the best idea for fun.
Come on, live a little. This will probably be the first time you aren't the one being pranked. So, Logan, what's your idea?
Okay, so I have a couple of ideas, right? Okay, one of them is we could make her go look for something, and so when she turns around, we're gone, and she's in the middle of the wood by herself. We could even, we could do
We need her here. She's willing to do the whole project by herself.
I can do it.
That's more like it, John.
Ooh, this will be fun. So, but what is she going to search for?
I got it. Okay, so she likes mystery stuff, right?
She loves it. She talked about it 24/7 at camp last year.
Yeah, she's reading a mystery novel, so she must like it.
Dude, let's tell her the story of the Layside Killer.
The what?
Don't tell me you haven't heard the story.
I guess I must have missed it.
Oh, well, it's some tale about how some guy was killed for walking out in the middle of the night. They used to tell it to the new campers to keep them from wandering, but they had to stop this year because kids were having nightmares and were refusing to leave the cabins.
But this isn't Carly Dean's first year, so she probably has already heard the story.
Okay, then let's switch it up a bit. Make it different. Turn the guy into a girl, add some mystery into it, and bada bing, bada boom, instant story.
How is that a prank? Just telling someone some stupid story doesn't do anything.
Like I said, let's make a look for something.
Oh, Adam, how about the remains? Of the dead girl?
Yes, babe, you're so smart.
Would we all need to walk out there with her?
Come on, don't be a wuss.
Shh, she's coming.
Hey guys, what are you talking about?
different types of paint.
Really?
Sure. Let's just get started on the project.
So we began working on the logo. Carly Dean and I were working while the others did nothing. I wasn't much help, though. Carly Dean wanted the logo a certain way, and I just couldn't do it right.
John, the glue doesn't go there. It goes here.
I'm sorry, I'm doing the best I can.
Here, just let me do it.
Let's start the prank now. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
There's the junk we all like.
So, Logan, how are we going to start it?
Oh, you'll see.
Then what happened?
Well, I told her this story. I talked about how this girl went out one night and was killed, and said how they never found the remains, but she was said to have died near the river.
How did she respond?
Where did she die? Maybe the remains could be hidden.
Oh, do I smell adventure?
Well, it's got to be more fun than this.
Oh, this'll be fun. Where are we going?
Far down west, to the clearest water.
Dude.
The river. We're going to the river.
We started walking.
And it was hot outside.
So we kept going.
Until we finally made it there.
Here it is.
Wow, it's so peaceful out here.
Yeah, it must have been such a great place to die, right?
No, that's not what I meant.
Whatever. So where's his body supposed to be?
Somewhere over here, near the edge.
Wait, I think I see something. Babe!
I say too.
What? What?
Don't you dare finish that story! Don't you dare!
Then Alyssa pushed Carly Dean into the river.
What did I say?
She was screaming.
We were panicking.
We didn't want to push her in.
We just wanted to throw her clothes or something in.
Or what?
Or leave her there without her clothes.
What?
People do it at camp all the time. It's a tradition.
Usually they do it with new campers, but we thought, why not?
And it's not like we were actually going to do it. It was just a last resort.
But Alyssa pushed her into the river.
And it was high rushing.
Shut up!
So we tried to get her out.
Wait, she's okay.
What?
She's over there, hanging onto the fallen tree.
Thank God. Hold on, Carly Dean. We'll come get you.
Alyssa, what the hell did you just do?
I got rid of her.
What the hell? What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. She was a pain in the ass. I mean, it would have done the world some good to have her leave it. I wasn't going to miss my chance after all.
What chance?
Stop! Stop!
What chance? What did she say after that?
She said, my chance for revenge.
So get out of here now.
Or else.
And if you tell anyone,
You will regret it.
Then what happened?
we ran back to camp.
And we left her there with Carly Dean still in the river.
We were scared.
And Carly Dean could have died because of it.
You could have.
Excuse me?
I killed her!
But Officer Stillwell said
You
that...
idiots believing them? I told you it was all a hoax, didn't I?
Katie, oh no.
Damn it, Marsh!
I'm sorry, it slipped out.
That was our best leverage.
Katie? Who's Katie?
You're looking right at her. I'm Katie. Katie Hans. Alyssa was my sister's name before she died.
That doesn't make any sense.
You know what? Nothing makes any sense anymore. Nothing. It doesn't make any sense how no one could see who the real Carly Dean was. All you see was her sweet exterior, her quirks, or her sweet appearance, but you never see the utter ignorance and true evil that she possesses. Carly Dean is the reason for all of my pain. She didn't even know it. The night I drove head-on into my family's car was the first night I met Carly Dean. It was just some stupid party. At first, I just saw her quirks too. And we hung out most of the night, but we never exchanged names. And it was so dark you could hardly make out anyone's face in the crowd. But her face. Her face I remember, I still see as clear as day. As the night went on, she drank and she drank and she handed me drink after drink, and we were so drunk we couldn't even finish a single sentence. But apparently, Carly Dean was able to persuade me to get into the car, and she turned the ignition for me. She thought it was funny, and I just went along. My mom, my dad, and my sister died in that crash because of her. She caused all of this. Yet nothing was happening to her. She was guilty. But she just got away with it all. And everything. I wanted revenge. But I had no idea how to find her. But just at the right moment, fate brought us together. And all but the trip to good old Camp Layside. Of course, she didn't remember me at all from that night. And right when I thought I could finally get my revenge on her, she attacked. She chose me, of all people, to be stripped and left in the cold, dark woods overnight like I was nothing. And the worst part is she still didn't know me. She just pointed me out at random. Not only did she take my family from me, she just had to add to my suffering. So this year, I came back, and she still didn't recognize me. Not fully. Not enough to know what was going to happen. Carly Dean was the only face in my mind for all of those years, and she didn't even recognize me. Of course, not until that moment where I picked up that rock. And when I did, her expression changed. She was scared. She connected all of the dots. And finally, she saw me. And she said to me, "I know you now." From that night at the party, and I replied, "No, you don't. Not anymore." And I watched her fall into the rushing water, lifeless. The girl who never remembered died, forgotten.
Katie Hans, you are under arrest for the murder of Carly Dean Langston.
I got my revenge.
Scene 9. The scene opens outside of the cabin. Some time has gone by since the confession. Officer Stillwell has sat at the bench, going over the case files for some time now. Officer Marsh joins him.
Hey,
Oh, Marsh. Have they picked up Katie yet?
yes. Bill came down and took her back to the station.
Have they found Carly Dean?
They have.
Is she?
Yes.
You know, I wish that Katie lied. That Carly Dean was safe.
Me too. It's horrible for things like this to happen to kids so young. So many futures were altered this weekend.
I should have done something else. Maybe if we found her sooner or...
Matthew, there's nothing we could have done. What happened happened. We can't change that.
I know. I just feel like...
Like what?
Can I tell you something?
Anything.
You know, that dream I had.
I know of it, but not what it was about.
Well, during my dream, I was looking over the reports, and the lights went out, and Carly Dean walked in. She told me I failed her like I did Ron, and how...
Matthew, you can't blame yourself for the death of others.
I know, it's just this girl was so young. It reminds me of losing Ron all over again. He was only 24, Karen. He was a rookie. He had so much to live for, and I fell asleep at the wheel. Katie was under the influence. We both killed people, Marsh. We're both killers in our own right.
Do not compare yourself to her. Do you hear me? You are nothing like her. You are a police officer. You help people.
I try to, but with Ron...
What happened to Ron was an accident. You can't blame yourself, just like Katie shouldn't have blamed Carly Dean. The idea of blame keeps you in the moment and in the pain. Don't allow this guilt to eat you alive. You're healing, Matthew, and healing takes time. And remember, you help people. You really do. And I think it's time for you to help yourself.
Scene 10. The scene opens in the cabin. There, the remaining teens sit with their packed luggage next to them. Officer Stillwell and Officer March enter the cabin and approach Mrs. Brandy.
So I heard they found her body.
Yes, they did.
Oh dear, it's awful that this happened. These kids don't deserve this kind of trauma at such a young age. I just wish there was something I could have done to... Oh dear, I have to go. Carly Dean's parents will be here soon. Thank you, officers, for all that you've done.
Susan,
Yes, officer?
thank you for your help today. And don't blame yourself. You did all you could.
Thank you, officer. I just wish I could have done more, you know? I mean, I could have ended that stupid tradition years ago. I could have made them stay closer to the center of the camp. I could have not made them work on that project.
This isn't your fault, Susan. You did the right thing. You called us in. Don't forget that.
Do you want me to tell them? I would understand with what just...
No, it's fine. I can't.
Is it true?
Is she dead?
I'm afraid so.
Was it painful?
Well, we'll have to do the odd.
I don't believe it was.
What's going to happen to Alyssa? I mean, Katie.
You don't need to worry about her.
Then what about us?
You'll be going home.
So we aren't in trouble?
There might be some court dates in your future, but for now you're free to go.
But we lied.
Alyssa, I mean, Katie, told us to.
And then we left her there with Carly Dean still in the river, alone with Katie. Wouldn't that...
You were scared. And sometimes scared people lie. So the courts will go easy on you.
Your parents are waiting for you in the cafeteria to take you home if you want to go grab your things.
Officer Stillwell, Officer Marsh, thank you for caring about us and Carly Dean.
It's all part of the job.
Those poor kids. I really hope they'll be able to heal after all of this.
They will. In time. Let's go home, partner.
Hi, everyone. So that's the end. We're going to start the talk back now. So I'm going to add everyone to the stream. Hi, everyone. So in the chat, you guys can ask us some questions and we will answer them. So whenever you guys are ready. So far, no questions yet. Reading some of the comments that happened during the show. Okay. Anyone got any questions for us? What you thinking? What you thinking? They're probably thinking about the question. You guys did awesome, by the way. Good job. Yes.
Logan would be the one with the blue light, wouldn't he?
Of course he would be. Oh, all the comments loaded. Okay.
That's too many questions, Laura Lee. Can we just leave?
Those aren't questions. Those are. Hey, you're doing good. Sarah said, "How are you all?" I'm doing wonderful. I was very nervous at the beginning, but now I'm doing fabulous. What about you guys?
2 thumbs up.
We're doing great.
Yes.
I couldn't hear half the show, so I'm doing fine.
Yes.
Oh my.
So Shad said, "What was it like working virtually?" First of all, it was very hard because like trying to get first of all Alyssa to push Carly Dean into the water was really hard. But it was just altogether it was good because I didn't have to leave my dorm to do practice. I would just be in my room and it'd be fine. But other than that, like sometimes it was kind of difficult. What about you guys?
I mean, there definitely was a lot of unique hurdles just with working virtually. Like when it comes to like working in the theater, no one really thinks of, hey, normally I would just like go to the theater and like be there for 6 hours, knock out like 1 or 2 rehearsals and go home. Now it's just like, hey, gotta prep all my roommates, just be like, hey, I'm gonna be screaming for like 3 hours. I hope you're cool with that. And then it's just like setting up the unique light setup in this like apartment that isn't very well lit. And just a lot of unique challenges. But I think we adapted fairly well as a cast, and I really can't complain.
Most definitely. So we have another one for Laura Lee. What was your inspiration for the show? So the inspiration for the show mainly, for some weird reason, I came up with the name Carly Dean. Like that was the first thing that really made me come up with the show. I have no idea why. But really the entire show, like I wanted this. Oh, Carly Dean's here. There she is. But I really wanted this idea of like a person that we don't really know anything about. So Carly Dean was just this person that like we only see through the lens of others or like in flashbacks or in like a dream scene. And so I really wanted this idea that we don't really see this person and how like that can really impact people. And then also like the whole idea with like we shouldn't blame people for what happens in our lives. And so that was kind of the inspiration. Honestly, when I got down to write this, I had no idea how it was going to end. The entire time I was like, am I going to kill Carly Dean? And of course, we all see how we chose. I chose for her to die. So, oops. Next one.
Yeah,
what inspired you? So Harrison had the same question. So we got your question too. How did you overcome the difficulties of making the play online? I didn't really like edit it really for the online space. I kind of just went with it. The only thing that I did is like there were some things where like I had somebody like stand up, so we can't really stand up on Zoom. And then of course there were other scenes where like there was this one thing in the script that I had Alyssa like literally tackle Logan, but you can't really do that on Zoom. So there was no tackling. You can't really stand up on Zoom. Alyssa like I was tackling. Trying to steal the question.
Ooh, should we talk about the lights?
Ooh,
yes, talk about the lights. Okay. So personally, I love music. Everybody turn on your lights. Turn on your lights. Turn them on. Turn them on.
Oh,
Yes. So personally, I am a huge sucker for lighting in shows. And so, especially for the dream scene, which we had some lighting difficulties today, usually we would have a green. I really, when I wrote this, I saw it in this very eerie green lighting. And then also lighting was very important for the flashback, so we know that they're in the flashback and they're in like real time. So I was like, that's got to stay on the virtual thing. How did you guys feel with working with lights?
I mean, I kind of liked it because, I mean, I know that usually, you know, depending on the show, you'll have lights on you, but this was just more fun because I think it was a lot more up close and it added a different sense to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very, very fun. You guys are really good. These actors, they be like multitasking. They be like pressing buttons, making themselves leave, making themselves like all this stuff. So like a round of applause for just that, for them like being their own light tech people. I just wrote.
I have a different light too. I don't even have the buttons. I had to do it.
Harrison, we're twins. Harrison said that he wrote a play with the main character called Amber Dean. Something about Dean resonates. Yes, I'm telling you, something about somebody's first name and their name, the Dean. I don't know. It's just bad and bougie. You know what I mean? Like it just works. Yes. Bloop, bloop, bloop. But yes. Any more questions for us? I'm getting a lot of oohs and yeses. We love the oohs and yeses.
Yeah.
Moises is here. Hi, Moises.
Hey, Laura Lee, you missed a question, or maybe you answered. You may have answered it, and I just don't pay attention well. It was what inspired you to write the show?
Oh, I kind of answered that one with Jax's. So I answered that one. Yeah, and then we got the overcome the thing. Oh, the hoodies. I'm gonna leave this question to our Kyler, also known as Epi. So Epi, would you like to explain the thing with the hoodies?
Oh, of course, always. So the thing with the hoodies is chaos mostly. I mean, I think that it was pretty funny. I don't know. There were a couple of lines a couple of scenes where just didn't have any lines. It wasn't even there. So just be in like the backstage area, just like, you know, sitting there alone because we're not all together. And so I was just chilling and I was like, you know what? Like I had my hoodie on. And so I don't even remember. Oh yeah, it was one of Stillwell's lines where he was just like, not quite. And I was like, what do you mean not quite? And people laughed, and Eli, our stage manager, did not appreciate that very much. But all of us, except her and Laura Lee, appreciated it, and so we kept doing it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I did not appreciate it. I actually thought it was funny. It's like, you gotta have somebody not liking it to keep the rebellion going, you know what I mean? So of course I played along. Honestly, the whole thing was actually hilarious. Yes, but also it was very distracting sometimes. But it was really funny. So much so we have a group meme that's called the Mysterious Disappearance of Carly Dean. And we just send memes. They're absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so that's the thing with the whole hoodies.
Yeah.
The hoodies gave the hoodies gave the stage manager many headaches. Yes, it did. Eli didn't like the hoodies.
But
writing a lie out on stage, it is so fun, but it can be hard sometimes too. What challenges did you face in believably crafting your story? Lies and twists. Bro, that was so freaking hard. Writing mystery, this is my first and only mystery play I've ever written. And it is honestly really difficult because like Alyssa has so many freaking things that like happen with her. So like originally, like when I wrote this, I had no idea how I had no idea she was gonna die or anything. But I also had no idea who would be responsible for it. So as I'm going, I'm thinking like, who would be a good killer, you know? Because I was like, well, Alyssa just seems so obvious because she's the bad girl, whatever. But then like I started adding in these ideas of like how she was blaming Carly Dean for all this stuff. And so the hardest part was once I got to the end and I finished the play, I had to go back and like add in lines to like almost go to that ending. So it wasn't like, Alyssa, I have nothing to do with Carly Dean. Oh my gosh, I killed her. So it wasn't just like a random thing like, oh yeah, she killed her. Like we actually had to have twists and turns. So it involved a lot of editing. But thank you. That was a very good question. So suspenseful. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I was really worried when I first wrote this that it was going to be very like easy to like tell who done killed her, but I'm glad that there was suspicion. Yes. Are there any English? Sorry, I call
I
myself a
didn't know
writer.
you
I can't even
killed
speak
tonight,
right.
so it was
Huh?
suspenseful.
Yes.
What's
It was very fun. Huh? Yes. After before the show, we were trying to think of who else could have been the murderer if it wasn't Alyssa. I personally said if it wasn't Alyssa, it would have been everyone's. What did you guys think? Who would be the murderer?
John.
I could
John?
see it being Logan. Because
say
he's
Logan,
like a
yeah.
really funny guy, but I could see it being like an accident.
Logan just kills her, makes a joke about it, like, ha, she's dead.
Now, as I said earlier,
Like,
John,
gone wrong.
nice guy vibes. The nice guy vibes. Little off-putting, little serial killerish, but
Or maybe
like,
just
you do
all
you.
still all the entire time.
I
And he's
think-
just like,
I think it would have been Miss
They have
Brandy.
buttons where you can show it. Wait.
Like personally, I think
Here's
it
how
would
it
have
was.
been Brandy.
It totally
because-
could have been Brandy. We were talking about it earlier.
Okay,
That's
because
cool.
she keeps warning kids about going to the river, and Carly Dean ended up in the river, right? So the prank happens, everything's the same. Carly Dean comes out of the river. Brandy's like, "I told you not to go in the river," and she just snaps. You know?
Yes.
I
She
mean,
goes,
you're
"Oh,
not
no,
wrong."
Now's my chance for revenge. She's gone. We have
And
another
just
question.
like
Oh,
the entire Alyssa.
Harrison said his favorite line is "Guess he left." Thank you so much. I don't think you understand how much I love that line myself. Can we all just give a whole applause for just how awesome freaking Miss Brandy is? I freaking love her, and Daria does such a good job with her. But yes, that line is that line was in the first draft, and it stayed to the end because I freaking loved it. Like Miss Brandy just wanted a love story to happen between her eyes,
Favorite line.
and all she
the
got
whole
was
play.
a dead team. So yes. How did you feel playing Miss Brandy? What did you like about playing her?
Oh, she was such a sweetheart. Like, she was honestly probably one of my favorite characters to play. And I just love how you could see, like, all these different sides of her. Like, you saw her serious side, her, like, kind of, like, little gullible side, and just her, yeah, you just saw all Miss Brandy everywhere. And she was just so sweet to play. And I felt like I could relate to her a lot. And I just loved her. She's sweet. And she'll
Awesome.
always have a special place in my heart.
She'll always have a special place in my heart too. Okay, so this one, is there a character that you base off yourself? Honestly, when I first wrote the show, I honestly based Carly Dean off myself, which is weird because I had her die. But it wasn't in that fact. Like when I was in high school, like I just had a lot of issues, like with feeling like I was like this really, people saw me as this innocent person, but like didn't treat me very well. So I had this idea of like this character who's like this very innocent person that nobody really liked, and then ended up killing her and stuff. So then it kind of went from that to like this whole other thing. But yeah, so Carly Dean was originally, because that's why she's kind of a double name, because my name is a double name, Laura Lee. But that's really it though. John was sus. Yeah, he was. Let's see. Oh! She thought it was Eliana. I see you, Allison. Freaking Eliana be the murderer. Ooh, she vented. Wait, actually, there was a meme that wasn't it you, Abby, that made where it was like, oh, imposter of the vent. Who?
It was like, yo,
Alyssa sus.
yo,
Wait,
Alyssa
I'm actually gonna
sus.
show a meme that I'm very proud of making. I think it's absolutely hilarious.
Horrifying.
I don't know if y'all will be able to see it though because it might be mirrored, but I'll show the picture. That's all that matters.
Our director's about to show me. It's horrifying.
Huh?
That's horrifying.
So I don't know if you can read the words, but basically it says Alyssa Hans is actually Katie Hans. And he says, wow, this is worthless. Because I love that meme. I'm so proud of that.
But can we, if Officer Marsh had a dime for every time Stillwell cut her off, she'd be rich.
God.
She wouldn't need to be an
If I
officer.
had a
She'd
dollar
be
for every
rolling.
single time he said dude, he'd be rich.
No, it's a miracle
Okay, I
that
think
Marsh
we
didn't just stab me. Like, honestly.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Like, it's a miracle that I survived and Carly Dean didn't. Let's be honest.
Oh, that's on period. That's on period.
Logan almost
Eliana
started
was
with that.
sus.
So
Yes, we do love you, Daria. Any more questions from the audience out there?
For the cast word.
Oh, she said you did very well your confession.
Thank
Yes,
you.
she did awesome.
Thank you.
My favorite line that she says in that, I've actually rewrote that like monologue maybe like 5 times because every single time I wrote it, I hated it. But the last line where she says, "The girl who never remembered died forgotten." Like, wow, that was not me writing that because that was too good. I was this close to putting it on the poster just because I love that line so much. But if I did, then everybody would know what happens. So I couldn't. I was gonna come for Sybil. The fact that Marsh can put up with him. That's what I'm saying. Marsh really
That's
do here think we
real
can be friends. Like, you want to be friends with Stillwell? Why?
I do.
Patience of a saint.
Hang on. Did you find yourself tailoring lines and arcs to your characters during the rehearsal process, or was it pretty much how the script was since it was casting? So some of the lines changed just
Bada
because
bing,
it was
bada
online.
boom.
Yeah,
Bada bing,
yes.
bada boom.
So some of the characters said things that I liked a lot more than what I said. I said, and then boom, Insta story. And one day he said, bada bing, bada boom, Insta story. I said, that is so much more Logan. You got to say that. And then like, there's also a line where he goes, "Hi, I'm John Baldwin," and he goes, "Who gave you permission to stand?" But like, they can't stand, so he said, "Speak." So I had some lines like that, but most of the arcs and stuff, I don't think there were much changes to like the storyline, just because once I cast people, I don't like to change the script too much because I feel like that's too much to say. Learn these lines. Oh wait, the lines are different now. Learn these new ones. I feel like that's stressful. That was a good question. Yes, Alyssa, you killed it at the end. You were like going crazy. Yes, tell us how you got into like playing the crazy Alyssa, Allie.
Because that's what's great.
I'm not really sure. It is kind of outside of like my thing. I don't know. I normally do like kind of fun, happy roles, like really cutesy. Like the last big role I played, I was Alice in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, which is like the youngest one. So it was kind of a very different vibe. I've never played a crazy person before, so I'm glad you guys liked it.
Yes. Ooh, Allison said Logan was her favorite character. He's hilarious. Thank you so much. I tried so hard to make Logan's character funny, but honestly, Cody brought all the humor to it. Cody absolutely did amazing. He has me over here cracking up. But honestly, Logan is like the highest part of like comic relief in this entire thing. And then of course Miss Brandy. Miss Brandy with her little what do you mean? What? That whole scene. It's just so precious. I love it. Okay, any more questions out in the audience? Now. I have one for you guys. What was it like acting in front of a computer screen instead of on a stage?
Ooh.
So different.
Okay,
So different.
So like, whenever you're on the stage, like you can have awareness of like the complete world around you. So like, I can turn to people. I can have a lot more personality. Like I can swivel from like just with like my hips or something. But like with a computer screen, all I can really do is interact with like this field and straight at the camera. And it's like a really weird feeling restriction. But overall, it honestly did not inhibit us as much as I thought it would. So I can't complain that much.
Honestly, so different, like not seeing an audience and like not getting that feedback, because like we don't see how you guys are reacting right now, so like we don't know how to like play off of that. So that was just a big thing for me. I'm just like looking at my computer screen at the other actors, but not really an audience. So yeah, that's a big thing for me.
I found it was even like strange, kind of like what Carson was saying and Daria, but especially when we were looking to like our left or right to like interact with someone that's not there. So you're just talking to like a ghost in your room and you're like, hi, like you just don't have that like interaction. Like you can't even see the other actors' facial expressions. So lots of rehearsals helped that because you could kind of see how people were going to respond. And yeah, so that was interesting.
Something I noticed too is what I'm so used to working with Zoom, where like my reflections mirrored, but here everything was flipped. So like when we wanted to look a certain way, we'd have to look the other way. And sometimes I catch myself like in rehearsal being like, oh wait, and you know, like you have to learn how to like kind of quickly fix that. And then also, I think that like just I got a little nervous before I went on, and usually like when you're on stage, your nervous tics are like completely obvious to the world. But here, I could like be tapping my foot and no one noticed. So it was kind of fun, you know, like
That's a mood.
it was a nice little way of pretending.
Yes.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. I couldn't tell a difference.
I know. I don't even have to wear shoes. I'm over here shoeless. It's great.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as acting on a stage. I don't know what y'all are talking.
You never actually. For everyone out there,
Oh my
this
goodness.
is Epi's first time acting, so he's lying. But everybody, give him a clap for doing so wonderful for his first time. Woo. Okay, so they got some words. Okay, so I loved how you had the first scene and then you came back with the same scene, except showing it like the students were saying, while the officers were talking. Like, thank you. I was so worried that would like confuse the audience because it is like a big time change. Because like in the show, like I have a lot of different like time things. Like I have the scene 1, scene 2 change, and then of course the dream. So it wasn't like just awkward. Like I already had like a dream scene kind of sequence. But I really enjoyed writing that. But the biggest problem was like trying to make sure that like the teens, when they were talking, didn't take longer than how long it took the officers. Because then it'd be like the teens were talking for 20 minutes while the officers said like 2 lines. And then it's like, wait, this isn't the same amount of time. This is weird. This is crazy. But yeah, that was really hard to write, but also really, really fun. But also it included a lot of copying and pasting. Because let's say I went to edit and like, let's say there was a line that was in both scenes that I wanted to change. I'd have to change it in the first scene and then go back to the second scene and change that too. So, I mean, I gave myself a lot of work, but it was fun. So, yes, Moises said, yay, yay back. Any more questions out there? Ooh. Agreed. I may have sent 1 or 2 curses to Stillwell, though. Ooh.
I mean, that's fair.
Listen, y'all. I know y'all be like, I don't like Stillwell, but honestly, Stillwell, he had some good character development. He was over here saying, these teens are freaking lying. I don't believe a thing they say, to like, sometimes scared people, they lie. Like, I was like, change, I guess. So, say whatever you want about Stillwell. He's a change man.
He went from like total asshole to like minor asshole. So I feel like that's an improvement. That's an improvement.
A good improvement. Plus, I liked. Okay, I'm gonna say this right now because I thought it was really fancy when I did it. But I didn't really think about it till later. I have moments like when he's the most vulnerable, like when he takes off his hat and stuff. So like basically a genius there. But I really like getting to see like that like vulnerable side of Stillwell. That's like because he's probably like the lead of the play. But I really like getting to see, especially in the dream scene, like how like in the beginning, like he's so closed off. It's probably because of what happened to him with Ron. Like he's just too scared to let anybody in because he literally had his partner die in his hands and it was all his fault. And it was really cool to like see this like transition from this character of like who's so stern, who like you see this man who's just like, yeah, I'm like a close friend, you don't know nothing about me, to like literally go to like the next couple scenes and like literally have him open up his heart on a platter to Carly Dean because she's over here saying, I know what happened with you and Ron. So yeah, it was really cool. That dream scene was really fun to write. Epi was over here trying to give it away though, saying hashtag justice for Ron.
Justice for Ron, baby.
Justice for Ron.
Honestly, too many people were killed in the making of this play. Poor Ron and poor Carly Dean. Hate it for him.
Hey, the Hans family.
Yeah, my whole family.
And the Hans family. I forgot I killed the Hans family. Man,
You forgot about the entire family?
Laurelie's actually the biggest murderer out of anyone in the play.
For real.
Oh yeah, no.
Funny story.
I have no feelings for the characters that I kill in the play. I say, you know what? Your death is important to the story arc, so blah, 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 dead. Every other writer can agree. I'm sure Allison over here, Allison can agree. Sometimes you got to kill people in your play to make it good.
Oh my.
I mean, you guys watch Disney movies. Every single Disney movie, the mom's always dead. So like, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, but do you ever like have like some kind of ceremony for your characters once you like get rid of them? So like
no, I just
respectful, like
they're just dead.
Oh no.
That's so weird.
No.
Like a ritual, like just have a whole funeral for this imaginary character that I had. I was like, oh, you were very important to the story, but you must die. R.I.P.
Melissa, do you just like burn sage?
Okay,
Do you like burn
with me?
Yes. That's funny. She said, I definitely killed Kane in What the Zoom Show. Mm-hmm. Yep, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But it was very important. Honestly, sometimes I get upset, like if I have to kill a character that I didn't want to. Which I wrote this one play called Death is Random. It's crazy. There's a lot of death up in there, hence the name Death is Random. But there's this one character that I didn't want to die, but like for it to be like the most spontaneous and crazy, like they had to die. But I'm not gonna tell y'all because, you know, then I'd be giving it away. I killed my main character in the first chapter of one of my books. The entire book is basically a flashback. Wow, she really said they're dead. Let's just think about what they did in the past.
Holy.
Freaking
Okay.
Allison, make everyone cry, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, here we go. Here's a question. Daniel said, what was everyone's favorite scene? What was everyone's favorite scene?
The scene where we were actually pranking the playing the prank.
Yes, that was a good scene.
That's scene 8, I think.
Yeah, that's scene 8. Scene 8 was probably the longest scene.
Yeah.
Yes, that's also the one where Carly Dean gets pushed into the river. What about anybody else? What are your favorite scenes? I haven't heard from John or Eliana. Let's hear some things from you.
My favorite scene would definitely be the dream scene. I think it's so, I mean, of course I'm in it, but it's just like, I wish, sadly my light wasn't working tonight, but tomorrow it will be working, and it's just like really, it's such an eerie, creepy scene.
Green and ethereal.
Mm-hmm. And I could see, like, if it was actually on stage, how you could use like smoke effects to really make that scene come alive.
Oh yeah, the freaking options for that scene would have been like off the hizzle or whatever the word is, the phrase, but freaking Zoom just said nah. But yeah, my favorite scene, that is probably, the dream scene's probably one of my favorites, but I really, really enjoyed like the second to last scene where you know, Marsh comes in and Stillwell is like you know, over here like, oh, I thought, is she dead? And she was like, yeah. And then he's like, oh man, I wish you would have lied. Because my favorite part in that scene was like, you know how she's talking about like how you shouldn't blame yourself for these things that happen. Because that's like basically one of the main plots of the story is just don't blame others. But it's also like along with like how we see people in different lights and stuff. But like that last scene, if we were in person, like it would have been so much like better because I would have had like Stillwell start crying and like literally put his head on Marsh's shoulder. And it would have been so cute and so sweet. It didn't happen.
Yeah, to ruin that great moment, my favorite scene was probably scene 1 because I got to scream a lot.
Yeah, you did.
And be mean a lot. Because when it comes to like characters, I've always been typecasted as like the angry old man because I was always the tallest person and like the person that could only grow stubble. So like ever since 8th grade, I've always been angry and like or just incredibly sad. So Stillwell is right up my wheelhouse of just like, it's comfortable just to be screaming at people again.
That's the secret, Cap. I'm always sad.
Yeah.
In scene 3, the first section where it's just Logan just being like, man, I'm hungry. Like, when can I leave? I was just like, man, that resonates with me.
Harrison said that his was when you guys were collaborating on the lie. I thought that was a good one too. Y'all were all trying to say, what are we gonna say? What are we gonna say? Like, don't lie, just stretch the truth. That was a good one.
That's
what about you, Eliana? What was your favorite scene?
I really like, I know it's already been mentioned, but the one where we're trying to actually like put it together once Stillwell and Marsh are like, hey, we know what's going on. You're not telling us.
Yes, I love that one too. Ooh, Harrison said, will ACT be feature more play premieres in future? Yes. So ACT's got a whole line for next semester. We're doing MTR, which is going to be the musical theater review, also virtually. We're also going to be doing, I believe, a spring play, and then our very own Shad wrote a freaking musical that is going to be casted and produced. So y'all gonna have to watch that. If y'all want to, you need to follow the ACT Instagram. I'll put it in the chat. If I can tap at ACT. You guys can go follow them. They will like literally post so many things that you'll get to keep catch up on. If y'all want to know, there we go. It's posting now. There's a post. So y'all need to follow that account because they know what's up and they be showing all these things that we be doing. So y'all need to stay tuned because ACT got some shows coming up and you do not want to miss them.
And like the ACT also, like if a new playwright just comes forward with a script, you are almost guaranteed to find a table reading or even a Zoom performance nowadays. of it within like a month. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
So
Most definitely,
stay tuned.
I know. Yeah, I honestly, the first meeting I ever went to as a freshman, I pitched this play, and they were like, "Heck yeah, let's do it." First meeting, they knew nothing about me. First meeting, I was like, "I have a play." They're like, "Let's do it." And we were gonna do a stage reading, which most of the people in my cast now are from my stage reading. So whoop whoop, go them for sticking with me for not one semester but two. But we did. We were gonna do a stage reading. We had one rehearsal, but then the pandemic happened, so it had to be canceled. And then this semester, we were just kind of waiting to see what happened. We were going to do another stage reading, but we're like, you know what? Why not just make it a whole show? So we did. But yeah, they did a one-act fest this past Friday, a couple Fridays ago. It was the 13th, I believe. Wasn't it? Yeah, Officer still over here, Carson. He wrote him a play and produced that. It was bomb. The bomb diggity. But they had 4 shows, all written by ACT members and their playwrights, and they got to cast and direct and stuff. It was awesome.
How about our favorite sense, though?
Wait, I thought Eli was going to ask that. That's not Eli, is it?
Okay. I don't know if you were in on this, but I love you, Daniel. So, like, I personally love anything that's related to, like, the sea. Anything that's related to the sea really resonates with me, and I don't know why. Because, like, it'll just be like, lake. Did I say salmon water? Lake, water. Love those candles.
Wait, so okay, this is kind of inside joke. So before the show, Eli, our lovely, wonderful stage manager, we love Eli. Honestly, Eli was a blessing from God, okay? So, like, they helped me with so many things. But Eli and us, we were, since we can only have 10 people on the stream at one time, Eli said, hey, I'll pop out. And they were like, hey, what are some questions that I can ask? And I forgot who said it, but someone said, you can ask us what our favorite scent is. And then we started joking about that. And then now Daniel is apparently in on it. Well, I forgot to ask, but very interested to know your favorite scents. What are my favorite scents? You guys think. I got to think about my favorite scents.
Mine is lavender. Like
Daniel is actually my best friend. Like we grew up together. So I definitely texted him that just to get the reaction.
Oh,
that's funny.
That's fair.
You got us. Yes. You got
it. I'm trying to think. I like floral smells, but like when it comes to candles, I like sweeter smells. Like I don't want to smell floral from a candle, but I like floral from like perfume. So it really depends on what the thing is. Also, brownies. Brownies cooking.
Ooh. Epi is his coffee.
This isn't coffee. This is a candle that I've had it sitting and burning next to my computer during every single rehearsal. And then I went to light it one time, and Lauralee and Eli were just like, "Stop playing with fire!"
We thought you were playing with fire.
I'm just lighting my candle.
He's just getting ready for the scene. He's like, "Let me just light my candle. Get ready. I'm in Kyler mode."
And
now.
they're just like getting upset with me.
That's funny.
Okay,
also, snaps for Lauralee and Eli for putting up with all 9 of us.
Yes. I liked putting up with you guys, though. You guys were awesome. Honestly, they put up with me more than anything. Oh yeah. So like, thank you, Shad. She said we knew you're passionate and resident. Oh, that's sweet. Also, One Act Fest, like if you're watching from YouTube now, you can literally go to YouTube right now and still watch it. Like it's still up. So like y'all still have the chance to watch those wonderful plays. So go do that like right after this. But yeah, and I think they might still be on Facebook. I don't know how Facebook works. It could be, but it's definitely still on YouTube. So yeah, y'all should definitely do that. So are there any more questions before we say bye? We have really enjoyed you all asking us questions. We've enjoyed getting to talk to you guys. It's been very fun.
I only have half a face.
I just want to say thank you to Lauralee for like allowing us to do this opportunity in general and writing this amazing script and just being like a generally supportive person and like being such a creative spirit. I just really appreciate you, Lauralee, and thanks for sticking with us. And to Eli in the chat, thank you as well for putting up with us, putting up with our hoodies, and then also ACT in general. Because ACT is amazing.
ACT. Respect to ACT. Giving playwrights a round of applause to produce their play. Snaps for everybody. And of course, I'm going to be real sappy right now. But thank you to the audience for those 18 people out there still watching us talk about just whatever. But thank you to everyone who came to watch the show. I really enjoy it. Thank you for supporting us all and supporting theater. Thanks so much, y'all. Can't wait to see the show again tomorrow. Yes, we also have 2 more shows happening. We have tomorrow at 2:30 and Sunday at 2:30. So if y'all want to watch us again with all the green lights working, y'all are free to do so. If you do the RSVP, or we'll be posting it on YouTube and Facebook again. But I think, yes, great job from an old ACT. Oh, awesome! We love ACT alums.
Yay!
Yes. But so I'm gonna call it a night because we're all tired and we got a show tomorrow. But I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you for coming. Also, great job, my cast. Ready to do it again. So yeah. Bye everyone. I'm gonna kick everyone off the screen real quick.
Do we have notes?